Okay, here we go. So, if you want, you can either just lie back on your mat, or if you want to do more of a heart opening position, you are welcome to set up your blocks and go ahead and rest back here in a open heart position. So that's up to you. Just a note, I am going to use my phone for timing purposes. I promise I'm not texting. So go ahead and find that comfortable space. Open through the chest if you're lying on your mat, if you're lying flat. Kind of lift the arms up, raise them up, and see if you can just widen that space, opening up in the shoulder blades, and then resting the arms back. And then just checking in on your low back, and if the low back seems like it is a little tense today, you can always do that constructed resting pose by walking the feet out to the sides of the mat and then dropping the knees in. And then maybe rolling the head gently from side to side. And just checking in. See if anything is talking to you today. Maybe you can find a spot that feels really good. And then kind of take that feeling, see if you can move it through the rest of the body. And just allow yourself this moment to just kind of tune in and just really relax and just be here. And we'll begin by drawing the attention to the scalp. And just see if you can gather this sense of just releasing and relaxing around the scalp. So you may find that you can soften a little bit more across the forehead. Maybe you find you can relax a little bit more into the back of the skull and find that support against whatever you're resting on. Letting the eyebrows completely relax. And that may mean lifting and lowering them a couple of times. And then let that softness kind of seep down into the eyes and the bridge of the nose. Relaxing the creases around the eyes, softening the eyelashes against each other. then really allowing space for the eyes to relax back. And drawing your attention to your ears. And see if you can notice all the sounds around you. And if there isn't anything that sticks out right away, see if you can hone into anything maybe in the distance. And perhaps there might be a little bit of noise inside the room that you're in. Maybe the house is settling, or maybe something else. And then drawing your attention back in as you take a nice deep inhale. Listen to the breath. And as you exhale, soften the jaw, moving the teeth apart from one another, letting the chin slightly drop, maybe taking a swallow and then letting the tongue relax. Drawing your attention to your mat. Notice if you feel any tension in the space. If you do, take a nice deep inhale. And just let the neck relax. Pull the shoulders down a little bit if you need to. Let them soften and snuggle into your mat. Feel the collarbone spread open across the chest. And then feeling the arms become heavy, being weighted nicely on the ground, being supported. Letting the fingers feel light. And then coming into the chest. Let's take 3 deep breaths and just see if you can fill only the chest. So moving away from the belly for a few moments. And just breathing into the chest, feeling the rib cage expand. Feeling the upper back press into the mat. And fully releasing with the exhale. Maybe sighing it out. Try that a few more times. Deep breath in. Long exhale out. And as you're doing this, make sure that your expression remains soft. You're not gathering up that tension in the eyes or between the eyebrows. And then let's move our breath into our belly this time. Deep breath in, only the belly. Let it go. Deep breath in. Exhale out. One more time, deep breath in. And release. Come back to your regular range of breath. Softening in the hips, feeling the body relax and release into the floor, through the back of the legs. Let the kneecaps become soft. And then finally feeling the air around the toes. And just take a few moments here to fully immerse yourself in this moment. Allowing yourself to just kind of float here in space on your mat in this moment. Taking a few more mindful breaths here. And then when you're ready, deep in the breath. Begin to explore with movement in the neck, rocking the head gently from side to side. And then begin to add small movements in the fingers and the toes. Maybe making little fists with the hands and drawing the toes in and widening them, stretching them out. Maybe rotating gently through the wrists. And then when you're ready, you can roll to one side and then draw yourself up into an upright position. And then if you happen to have your bolster or your bigger pillow that you were resting on, just kind of push it off to the side for a second. And we're going to come into supported fish. Now, if you'd like, you can use your block in supported fish, and you're going to rest it long ways, about right here on your back. Otherwise, if you have a blanket, and this is my favorite supported fish, roll your blanket up so it's fairly long and a pretty decent width. Rest it down on your mat. And depending on the length of it, I'd like your head to rest off the back, but you might end up sitting on it. Which is exactly what's going to happen to me. And then resting the shoulders nice and open. So your shoulders can kind of wrap around your blanket here, or your block. So nice and wide, and the neck can rest back. Of course, if that doesn't feel good to you, you can support the neck with a pillow or a block, but we want it to rest down a little bit lower if that's possible. And again, if your constructive resting pose, bringing the knees together, feet out, feels a little bit more comfortable, please feel free to do so. And so this is a wonderful chest and heart opener, as well as relaxing through the shoulders. So taking a couple of deep breaths here. And just letting yourself soften around. And if it feels a little stiff at first, just give it a few moments, a few minutes, and you should start to feel a little less tense through that space. Soften the eyes. And find that neutral expression on the face. Just allowing everything to relax. And remember, if something definitely does not feel comfortable, if you find that you're not able to relax, you always have permission to go ahead and make adjustments, move around. You can even rest your hands by your sides if that feels a little bit better, rather than opening and spreading the arms out wide. Bringing your thoughts back to the breath, back to this moment. If you'd like to draw your soles of your feet together in a cobbler's pose for the next few minutes, please feel free to do so, or you can stay exactly where you are. Begin to let your breath become a little deeper, a little longer. Begin to explore with a little bit of movement in the fingers and the toes. If you're in cobbler's pose, draw those knees together. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and roll to one side. Pull out that block or that blanket, just set it off to the side. Rest on your back and draw your knees in for a moment. Relaxing the shoulders back. Maybe finding a little rotation in the ankles. And then let the soles of the feet come to the floor and go ahead and roll to one side again. Just a little fetal position. Using the hands to draw yourself up. We're going to grab that pillow or bolster again, and we're going to move into supported deer pose. So drawing one thigh towards your pillow, keeping the knees bent. Both, you're going to frame your blocker, your pillow with your hands. And then rotate your chest so the chest moves to the top of the pillow, and then just relax down. So we're looking for a very gentle twist here. And you can rest on whatever cheek feels good. And then once you get yourself all settled and snuggled in here, take a couple of deep breaths and feel the back of the rib cage widen. And as you exhale, let the shoulders kind of spread nice and broad across the back. 2 more big inhales. And release. Last time, big inhale. And release. Let the eyes soften. Let the arms and the hands be supported by the earth. Notice if you're holding any tension in the legs and make any adjustments you need to see if you can release. And then softening through the feet and the toes. Coming back to your breath if your thoughts begin to wander. And just allowing yourself to surrender. Begin to let your breath deepen. Maybe turn your head to the other cheek for just a moment to get a gentle stretch on the opposite side. Find a little movement in the fingers and the toes. And then pressing the palms of your hands against the floor, go ahead and draw yourself up into tabletop position. Go ahead and scooch your bolster or pillow out of the way. And all you're going to do is come onto your belly. Let your feet be nice and wide on the mat. Let your elbows come out so your palms can rest on top of one another. And just drop your forehead down to your palm. If that's not comfortable, you don't have to do palms. You can use a blanket or something else, a little pillow to rest your forehead on. Making sure that your shoulders feel relaxed. You can rock the hips a little bit from side to side, just to work out any tension. And then when you're ready, go ahead and find stillness. And then breathe into the belly. Soft breath. Feel the belly gently pressing into what is supporting you. And then let that breath go. And see if you can surrender and release just a little bit more onto your support system. And if you want, you can rock that forehead gently from side to side for a few times. And see if you can draw your concentration to each breath. Every time the belly button presses into the floor. Notice the parts of the body that are expanding and contracting as you breathe. Drawing your focus inward. Allow your thoughts to drift back to the breath. Let your breath deepen. Nice, deep inhale. Sigh out. Find a gentle rocking motion in the forehead, in the neck. Go ahead and extend those arms out in front of you. Take a nice deep stretch. And then when you're ready, bring those palms beside your chest and draw yourself back up. And we're going to find our deer on the opposite leg. So grabbing that bolster, setting it up, or your pillow. Drawing that thigh nice and close. Hands frame the bolster and then rest down. And as best as you can, we want our chest to be able to rest on here, but if that's not in your, if that's not something that feels very comfortable to you, that's okay. You can find a space that does feel comfortable to you and relax there. So once you get settled in, taking a couple of nice deep breaths, filling the lungs, feeling the rib cage expand, and then as you exhale, the shoulders kind of melt out and down, and the arms feel nice and heavy. Checking in to see if you have any tension in the legs. And then breathing into that space to let it go. Bringing your thoughts back to your breath and your surrender. If you haven't moved it already, maybe switch which cheek you have resting on your pillow or bolster. And then letting your breath begin to deepen a little bit more. Finding a little movement in the fingers and the toes. Pressing into your palms and drawing yourself into tabletop position. And then when you're ready, it's time for Shavasana. So set yourself up. Maybe bolster under the knees. Maybe a blanket underneath the head, underneath the neck for support. Letting the arms relax out wide. Or maybe you bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly, your choice. Letting the gaze soften. Finding the breath. Maybe taking one or two deep breaths as you release and surrender into your support. Arms and legs suddenly become heavy. Fingers and toes are very light. And on your next inhale, maybe think, just for today, I am peaceful. Just for today, I am at peace. Just for today, I bring peace into this world. And then if you have anything that is on your mind, let it go. Let that peace find that space. Let it fill it with love. Knowing that all is where it should be. Begin to let the breath deepen. Explore with some movement, rocking the head gently from side to side. Find a little movement in the hands and toes. And then maybe take a big stretch through fingertips to toes all the way through the body, hugging in all the muscles to bone. And then on a big exhale, let it relax. When you're ready, go ahead and roll to one side. Allow yourself a breath or two here. And then make your way into a seated position. Drawing hands to heart space. Always in gratitude for our practice. Thank you so much for being here today to practice alongside with me. Take care of yourself. And of course, whenever we give ourselves a little self-care, we take that out into the world, and it makes things a little easier. So thank you so much. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day.